Hey guys, welcome to another video, and this one's going to be possibly a two-part one. As you can see in front of us, that's the Skyline, and this is one of the 6 injectors we're going to be putting in. Part number is seen right there, if you are so interested in that, if it would focus. I think you can sort of figure what that is. So I've got 6 of those, and yeah, the first thing we're going to do is take the bonnet off, because last time I did this I left the bonnet on and it got in the way quite a bit. So what tools we're going to need is these. Start off, you're going to want a 10 and a 12mm thrashing spanner, possibly a 14. But here we have a 12, just to get the bolts off the bonnet. Alright, so there's 2 bolts there, 2 bolts there. So I'm going to take those off quite easily. I'm not going to bore you with this sort of thing, but yeah. Alright, so the bonnet's off. So what we're going to want to do is get the intake plenum off, just half of it, so the top half, which is these 4 bolts, and there's one there, and one there. I believe they're 12 mils. You're going to want to get your intake snorkel off, which is some hose clamps and hoses, so probably want to take this hose off from there, then just take this entire thing off from here, obviously from the throttle body. Then 14, or is it 12? 14 or 12 on the throttle cable. Be very careful, these are really brittle because they're made of plastic. Already broke mine once when the exhaust was getting done. By the way, I got a new exhaust. But we managed to figure it out, but I had to get rid of cruise control, no biggie because I don't really use cruise control, nor do I care. Want to get that off. Around this side, 10mm bolt or Phillips head screw. Get these 3 grounds off. Now everything's going to line up where they're going to go, so that's easy. This is an 8mm hose clamp holding this brake vacuum line on, I think that's what it is. A lot of these clamps, TPS, this here is for your charcoal canister, not so important, but I like to have it on there. Alright, I don't know where we were, so we're around this end, that's all I know. Oh, I've put some sheets over the guards just to protect the paint from any oil, coolant spillage, or if I drop a tool or whatever. Yeah, you got to get the plenum off. The throttle body can stay. This throttle cable though, is pretty much like a bike brake cable. Just got to punch that little doodah off the this thing, whatever it's called. Pretty much all you got to do is disconnect everything. It's fairly simple, time consuming, but easy and simple. There may be some fuel spillage, so don't smoke. Disconnect your fuel filter. I would recommend replacing that. I forgot to buy one. No biggie. Like $12, fairly cheap. Then around here, I'll get into it more when the plenum's off. Just get rid of this hose. You'll probably want a good time to change your spark plugs on an RB30, because they're an arsehole to get to. Anyone with a Skyline or a VL knows this. What else? This is just a quick rundown. So yeah, this is your fuel rail. Looks like this. And your injectors. These are my old ones, what were originally on the car, what blew up. Then I got these off my mate's car, which was a full skid pig, and now I'm putting brand new ones in there. Pain in the ass, I know. Now with the throttle cable bracket, you probably could take it off if you didn't want to undo this, but I'm just going to undo that. That's what I did before. So that should be fairly simple. I would recommend, if it's your daily driver, do it on a weekend when you don't have to work. It is Wednesday today. I work on Saturday and on Sunday, so I've got plenty of time. It is, what time is it now? Let's get the old Galaxy out. It's 2:20. Ooh, someone mentioned me in a comment. Shout out to Jay with the Supra. Yeah, it's 2:20 PM on a Wednesday, so the car's going to be done tomorrow. Because unless I want to stay up all night and do it, which I may or may not do. So enough rambling. Let's get to it. Alright, so it's going to be kind of hard to see because the camera's just on a tripod. I may speed this up, but I'm just disconnecting everything as I pointed out before. So start off doing the easy stuff and go back to the harder shit. Okay, so another quick tip, make sure you have a white or a silver, some sort of bright coloured marker of sorts, so that way when you take your ignition coils out, you can mark what cylinder it's for. So number 6 would go up the back, number 1 would go right there, and whatever in between, because you're going to want to make it tidy and easy to work on. That's another charcoal canister. There's a lot of charcoal canister hoses I've realized, so let's just go around and I'll show you what I've done so far. So I've disconnected the plenum cooler lines, which is that one, and there's another one at the back. The temperature gauge and another one, I guess. The ignition coil has been disconnected. The sender thing that goes there has been disconnected. I'm not sure of some of these names. I'm not a mechanic, sort of. Well, I'm a backyard mechanic. Does that count? So, just want to chuck those out the way. The snorkel's been taken off. TPS has been disconnected. Well, the sender thingy. Some vacuum lines have also been disconnected. This has been disconnected. That plugs into there, so as you can see, it all lines up where it's meant to go, so it's a fairly easy job. Not sure what this is called, but where is it? I can feel it. This plug has been disconnected from whatever this is. My rocker cover is indeed leaking, so that's going to be another video, and it's going to get painted as well. So for rocker cover colours, one is going to be wrinkle paint. No doubt about it, wrinkle paint. So leave a comment down below on what colour you think I should paint my rocker cover. Currently I'm thinking orange. And then obviously file up Nissan so it's nice and shiny with a machined look. Anyway, so I'll get this tidied up and we'll get more involved soon. Actually, my battery is fairly charged, so if you guys would like to watch, I'm not going to leave it all in slow-mo or in standard mode, whatever, but let's see, that'll make my camera go higher. Is it that one? Oh, sorry, I'm trying to figure out how to tripod. There we go. So you guys can look right up on in there. Just lock that off. So, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to speed this up. So enjoy. Some sort of music's going to be playing. pulling shit apart. You want to make sure all the soft connections are disconnected. So at the moment, what we are doing, let's get rid of that. We are disconnecting everything from the top half of the plenum. Strange word, I feel fun, sort of fun word to say plenum. Anyway, so you're going to want to make sure all this shit's disconnected. You don't want to have any snags. If you do, just put it back down and try and hunt down what is indeed stuck. Now, you're probably going to want to do this when the engine is cold, because there is coolant involved. My engine is indeed hot, but I just got some coolant on my finger then, and it's pretty cool, so it's cooled down, so that's good. You want to go carefully over everything, what you've just disconnected. Make sure nothing is going to snag. There will be little vacuum hoses like this, easy to miss. I'll be the first to admit I have missed them in the past, and I'm not sure how important they are, but they're there for a reason, and you want to keep them there for a reason. Charcoal canister, not so important, but with the strict laws Australia has, oh by the way, don't keep a texter on your hot radiator. Fun fact. Yeah, you're going to want to keep your charcoal canister in if you're Australian, because, you know, just in case the cops decide to pull you over and be like, defect. In America, I'm not too sure if you have defects. With videos of what I've seen, the type of cars people drive, no defects. You guys are so lucky in the automotive field. Maybe not in other fields. And I'm not trying to offend anyone by saying that, but that's just my opinion, which everybody's entitled to. Now down there you may be able to see some coolant dripping. What has now stopped dripping? That's okay. Good time to do a coolant flush as well. But my coolant, as my timing belt was only done a couple months ago, the radiator was out, coolant was done, no need. But you may lose some, so just top it up. I think I have coolant. I think that's coolant. What's this? Type A coolant. I believe this was bought for a Skyline. I'm not sure, I was only a kid, but it's full, so yeah. Yay. So I got me coolant. So the sizes I believe is going to be a 12. Okay, so get that out of the way. I just got a Snapchat. Okay, let's not get that out of the way. Anyway, so you're going to need a socket, obviously, because it's not going to fit on any of those, but it is indeed a 12. So I'm going to get to that, put you guys back on the tripod, and see how you end up. Okay, so 12 mil, and then 12, 11, 12. There we go. So, let's get you guys off here again. Alright, so I just cracked them all loose, except for that one. Okay, loose. The three bottom ones, sorry, are longer than all top four, so just keep that in mind. The way I'm going to lay it out on somewhere, I'm going to have it in order, so going to be boom, 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 and then have those underneath these four, so I know which ones are which. Yeah, pretty much just take all these out. These are 12 mils, that one there's a 10 mil with the grounds on it, which doing a video of this is also going to be quite handy in case you forget. So, but what you do is you take those off. That part's not connected to anything, so you put the 10 back in there. Oops, you can't see. Put those back in. Obviously just finger tight, but that, as I said, isn't connected to anything. It's not that 10's only holding the grounds in, so you're good to go. So then you want to take all these out and then split the manifold. And I'm going to bring you guys over to witness such events occurring. Let's just try and find. That looks like it's going to work. That's not a 10, that's a 12. So here they are. Keep them in this order. As I said, keep the top at the top, which are all the same size, so they don't matter when you put them back in. But these are the bottom ones, and the middle one, there's only 3. These go to the outside, that goes to the middle. And the best way to remember that is obviously keep them in order. While you're doing such a big job, I suggest having some water with you. Even if it is a cold day like today. So, first shot of getting the top of the plenum off, should just lift up. And as you can see there, I am snagged on something. Which, you would have thought I would have remembered to disconnect, but no, I didn't. Oh well. So let's just, one of the last cooler lines. That one. There you go. So the top of the plenum can be removed. And this here is indeed, whoops. Also, get a drain tin or something, but it's just coolant, so no on our side. Okay, so let's zoom out. The top of the plenum has indeed been removed. Here it is. It's going to have some coolant left in it. That's the top of the plenum. You probably could paint it. It's quite easy to get off. I'd suggest cleaning it up just for looks. But I'm just going to put it over here on this broken bucket. So that's that. That's stage 1 of getting the engine apart. Okay, so a little tip. As you would know, I just got the top of the plenum off. This hose goes here. Let's slap that back on. Inspect the gasket. Usually you'd obviously replace gaskets straight away, but this one is an arse to get off, so I've heard, and it's on there pretty good. So, and it's got no leaks on it. It's got a bit of, it smells like coolant on it, but that would probably be because I was a dick and turned the plenum on its side, as seen on the radiator hoses. So just inspect everything. Fuel hoses, you probably want to replace those. I probably will at a later date. This is fuel rail, this has to come out. So actually let's start doing the easy stuff. Disconnect your injectors. There should be a clip on them, but mine are all broken, which is going to happen with age. And then you'll be able to hopefully get the loom out the way. Just again, be very careful with an R31, probably even a VL. The looms are actually one piece. So what you see in the engine bay, this loom is in your boot as well. It's also everywhere in between. It is one piece. It's a pain, I know. And how do I know this? Well, I personally haven't taken one out, but two close friends of mine have, and that car they took it out, that's where this fuel rail and its injectors are from, excluding this one. This is a brand new one, which we won't be replacing. That's why I only ordered 5 injectors rather than 6. So here you can see down in these little holes your spark plugs. Good time to change those. These are already new, so I'm not going to bother. Probably could, because the car has been running lean ever since I got it due to having bad injectors and not, it's been starving for fuel pretty much, which is quite bad. I could have said bye-bye engine. Thankfully not. So hopefully it runs a lot richer. I'd rather a rich running engine than a lean running engine, but in an ideal world it'll run perfect. Anyway, so this here is your stock fuel pressure reg. The car's NA, it's got minor mods, it's got an exhaust, that's it. So you could probably change it out. It's a 10mm bolt. That's actually a bolt from my fender, because I believe I lost it and I snapped that one last time. This Phillips heads, to undo this. Who it is? They're not important. Again, just be very mindful of what you're doing. So, obviously the loom's not going to go very far because it's connected down there to whatever that is. So, but still, it's got plenty of play. You can disconnect that, disconnect. So these are fuel lines of sorts. Possibly to send vapors from the charcoal canister to, sorry, from here to the charcoal canister back to the fuel tank, or however that works. I'm not too sure. So, what do you say we get started in taking the injectors out, which are all 10mm, or just your average Phillips head screw? And my good screwdriver, my good long one, is inside, so excuse me while I go get that. Okay, so we're just undoing the injectors now, which are these 10mm screws and all bolts, which I showed you before. For you, I'd recommend using a socket, a 10mm socket, rather than a screwdriver, just because they're going to be seized on. They're going to be quite stuck or stiff, however you want to word it. For me, I took all this apart, I don't know, like a month or 2 ago, so it's going to be fairly easy. Now, my mum's a genius. She gave me this old rice cooker right here, just to tuck bolts in. So these are all the same. So you can chuck these together, and it shouldn't really matter. Don't drop them. Last time I did this, I was in the wash bay because the car was broken due to bad injectors. Yeah, I dropped one of these, which pressure reg, which get that out of the way so you can see. This one's going to be tight. So this is where you swap your ratchet in 10mm. This is still 10mm, that's 12mm. That's 10. That's 10, isn't it? 10, there we go. So this is going to be tight only because I did it tight. So this is what you're going to want to do. Use your 10mm. And these are a lot smaller than the ones that hold the injectors in. You see? This is from the fuel pressure reg, this is from the injector. Obviously there's a size difference. You can chuck them together if you want, which is what I'm going to do because I know where they go. So pressure reg is loose, Careful putting metal in your windscreen, glass plus metal is bad. Now you're going to want to disconnect your fuel lines from your fuel pressure reg. I'd recommend wearing safety glasses, they're over there, up at the bottom. This is where fuel's going to piss out. Oh, that's cold. That's very cold. See? Fuel. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, no. You would have seen it. It's just fuel. It's going to stink. Get an old spark plug if you have any. Or an old bolt or something. Don't be a clumsy piece of shit like me and trip over everything known to man, because you'll plenum will land out of space. So, old spark plug, boom. Another old spark plug, put that to the side if I'm going to need it. That's just to make sure it doesn't leak. Now, can you see? I'm going to take you off the tripod. As you can see here, my fuel line is split, so I'd recommend getting new high pressure fuel line. It's been like that for ages, it's going to work fine. This is an old plug from my car actually, before the injectors went the first time. That's how lean it was running. Spark plugs tell you everything about how the engine's going. Okay, so give it another check over. Look for more bolts to undo, which are probably going to be 10 mil or something like that. Get that out of the way. 12 mil. 12 mil. Okay, so these ones are actually quite hard to see. But, the reason why the fuel rail wasn't moving is because it's bolted in. Now, some of you are probably watching like, dude, fuel rail is going to be bolted in, you dickhead. And you would be correct. There's two bolts, 12 mils, that one there, and that one with the green on it, which is coolant. To get those undone, don't drop them. I'm trying my best to do this camera work. Sorry about the wind, it's terrible weather. Okay, so this is a 12 mil bolt. Now, put FR on it if you don't know where it goes. I'm going to just to be safe. FR means fuel rail, or front right, but FR, fuel rail. Put that in your bolt collection and repeat for the second one, or whichever ones, however many your car may have. Tell you what though, it can be bloody tight. That said, I'm blaming nobody but myself. I was the one to do this. Okay. Let's clean this one off because it's got coolant on it. There we go. And again, FR for fuel rail. Doesn't have to be neat as long as you know what it means. Now the fuel rail should come out with a bit of persuasion, or with no persuasion, it might just come out. And they're lucky off. Now it is stuck on something. I've just got no fucking idea what. Actually, okay, we've got something. Easy to forget something in a job this big. That fuel line there. That's to come out. So just
and fuel's gonna come out. This version of the filter should be rail. ID.
That's all petrol. It's going to clean up the bolts, so do not reuse this fuel. Get rid of it properly. I have contaminated oil, which I'm just going to put it with, which I may as well do now. So let's pause the camera. Okay, there was one more bolt holding it in, and I'll show you once I get the rail out. Fuel is still probably okay. So right here, right there was another bolt, another 10mm holding it in. Now we're done with the engine. So I'm just gonna empty this fuel rail out some more. Don't roll it in there. So let's put the fuel rail to the side and double check the engine again. Okay. Sorry I didn't show you that bolt first up. It goes there. Okay, so what you want to do now, again, get the loom out of the way. This is where the injectors go in. Not there. There, there, and one up the back. And then right above is the spark plugs. I'm probably going to take my plugs out to clean. And just clean up the engine bay. This is a fuel pressure reg. Again, got a spark plug in the fuel filter hose just to help fuel not leak out. Here's that 10mm. Let's put that back there just for now. Again, finger tight, you don't have to tighten it because it's not going back together yet. So yeah, this is that, or that is this. Good way to clean your engine as well. So actually I might do that. I might clean up my rocker cover, make it look shiny again. Do that off camera of course. And I'll get back to you when we're preparing injectors. That's the exciting part. So I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm gonna clean up my engine, check out how it's going. Might show you a spark plug if it's running lean, if it's running rich, if it's running fine. But it did have a misfire due to uneven fuel flow from the current injectors. So this is going to delete the misfire. I've done everything else to delete the misfire. It's still there sometimes. It's not bad, the car's still perfectly drivable, but it's uneven fuel flow. Right, see you in a bit. Okay, so this is a fuel rail, and ignore this injector. The rest you're going to want to take off and inspect to see how the engine's going. Now these are from a thrashed out drift pig, so it doesn't really matter. The cap on this one is broken. That would explain my shitty fuel economy, I guess. It really stinks, man. Usually you'd want to chuck these little O-rings out, but I'm going to keep them because they've only got like 2,000 Ks on them. They're fairly new, so take those off. As I said, with stock injectors, you're going to want to bend them, but they're perfectly fine. This injector, as I said, we're leaving on. Flathead or okay, so this one is loose and already coming off. That would be a fuel leak, and they're actually all different. So none of these are the same injectors, so they're all a mix and match. So there's a couple 8mm, and then we have some factory ones. So I'm going to get these off, then I'm going to show you how to prepare your new ones. Okay, so I'm going to need these circlip pliers, and I'm not sure how easy this is going to be one-handed. You can grab hold of your old injectors. I've already loosened all the clamps. You're going to want to keep those just in case your new injectors don't come with them. And then, if you can see there, if you have to move it, I guess just do that. You're going to need that C-clip or that circlip and this little bracket for your new ones. The new one should come with everything else. So, again, one-handed. Okay, well, I guess you get the idea. You spread that out, you take it off, take the little O-ring off, and then this little bracket, and then you can get rid of your old injectors. Now, if I break these, it doesn't really matter. I have some spares over there and somewhere else. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it off camera only because it's starting to get a bit dark, even though I do have that light up there. It's not the best. So I'll see you guys with an update. Hello Internet, it is me. I've gotten the old injectors off the rail. Now, the new injectors. So, this is them. I believe I showed you previously. I only got 5 because, as I said, one is already new. So let's open up one. I'll show you what's inside the box. So, instructions on how to inject. Don't really need that. More paperwork. Here we have your 2 O-rings and clamp. And finally, that's it. I'm going to want to keep the boxes just for future reference. Here is the new injector. Now the hose is obviously way too long. This one's not broken. So this is new versus old. Gonna have to cut the hose, but open this bad boy up. It smells like injector. So as you can see, new versus old. New being that one, old being that one. And you're gonna want to cut. Try and get it lined up perfectly as possible. Cut about ½ an inch off, which I'm going to do all 5 off camera because that's boring, and then I'll show you how to set them up. Okay, so we're on the ground. Here are our clamp thingies and our brackets, so I guess that's what they're called. And here, sorry, I'm gonna have to put the camera on my leg. That's right there, there are new injectors. Hose is being cut to size. I'd rather them be too long than too short. Too short, there is no going back. And alright, there it is. So these ones here, these little O-rings, they go on the bottom. I'm only going to do one to show you, like so, on the cap. This clamp obviously goes on top of the hose, like a that. Then you get one of these, put up top, and then your bigger one, and you slide that on, like Yes, now probably better to use water-based lube, like sex lube or something, or rubber grease would be even better. But I don't have any. Ex-missus took that. But a little bit of persuasion and it'll seat like so. The hose clamp fell off, that's okay. Then you get one of these clamps, get your circlip pliers, put it in there, open it just wide enough to sneak on there, and then just massage its way down to see it properly. I'll be back when they're all done and I don't have to do it through a camera. Alright, so the 6 injectors are done and ready to go. I believe that's an 8mm or it's a flathead. And now we put them on the rail. So you guys can go back to the truck now. Simply doesn't have much water, like it on. Like auto parts store, just go in there, say, hey man, the dude from the internet said I need to buy some elbow grease. Usually in Australia it's like, I don't know, $5, fairly cheap, and you get a fair tub of it. So yeah, elbow grease, go buy some. And that's the injectors on the rail. Now, if you'd want, you would paint this. That's what I was planning on doing, but I couldn't be bothered. But are we done? Yes and no. We'll tighten them, of course. And then these spin. Yes, it's covered in silicone for whatever reason. I broke the other one, that was a spare. So I'm going to tighten these and we'll be back over to the car. Alright boys, guess what we're going to do? We're going to put these bitch back together. And if you don't understand retard, we're putting this thing back together. So fuel rail, just goes like that, and we're done. We're not actually done. That's how it goes together. So if you remember, this bracket here, or this metal line, that goes to the fuel filter. I'm not sure which is return, which is feed, but one of them. So let's get the loom out the way. Fingers crossed you can see it on. Get everything out the way and line it all up. Plug it all back in. Make sure you got no hindrance. Did this last time. And there. Sure. Figure out. Get this bad boy. No. I'm going to have to cut this and I'll get back to you once it's in because I only have limited amount of memory left on my phone. Okay, so fuel rail's in and injectors are plugged in, everything's bolted up. Well, sort of everything, still got the plenum to go, so we should be done later tonight. It was a little bit of a hassle to get all the injectors in because, you know, Nissan. No, she's alright. We're all in now. I just cleaned everything out as well. So look. Sorry about the lighting. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So it's like night time now. I wonder how many people are going to believe that. probably like 4 o'clock. Okay, it's nearly 6 o'clock. Wow, I was way off. Anyway. Still got some things to plug in. Oops. Didn't want to unplug that. I can't remember what that's for. All the injectors are plugged in. So that, I've got no idea what that's for. I'll figure that out though. That's okay. So I'm sort of not going to be videoing everything now, only because I have a limited amount of space on my memory card and a limited amount of battery left. So I'll just show you stuff with updates again. I figured out where that plug went. I had the wrong one plugged in. Whoops. So that short one did go to injector 2, and then this long one went here. Just a heads up. Alright, so just about done. Again, I'm sorry for not recording the putting it back together thing, but it's exactly the opposite of pulling it apart. So yeah. Not everything is back together yet. There's still got to put the snorkel back on, attach the remaining hoses, clean up the bay, put the throttle cable back on, and turn the key. So obviously you're going to be here for the first startup, and I'm hoping it doesn't explode. If it does, well, congratulations, you have seen a car explode on the internet. It's not going to explode, but if it does, I will be very surprised and slightly amused and pissed off all at the same time. So, just a lot of little vacuum lines I've been playing around with. Got all the big lines hooked up, making sure everything's clamped, everything's tight. So yeah, there's not really much to say. Been plugging in all the electricals. I'm just double checking, making sure everything's together. And now that bad boy goes in. And I guess you guys can stick around to watch that if you so want. I will obviously speed it up. I'm not too sure on how I'm going to go with putting the bonnet on by myself, but it's quite a big bonnet. Let's be honest. Got that rag. Oh shit. Clean it out a little bit. There's a little bit of oil or whatever in there. Apparently oil's meant to be in there. Okay, so. And that breather cord at the end of the rocker cover. That's that bad boy. Let's slap this bitch together. Okay, so that's that. I'm just going to tidy some stuff up, like the ignition leads and that, and I'll be back when I put the throttle the throttle cable back together. Just about back together, just going to do the throttle cable and put the negative terminal back with the battery. And we'll kick her over. Alright guys, well, everything seems to be back together. Turn the key, see what happens. Success. Let's have a look for leaks. It's running beautifully. Not misfiring at all. Might be a little bit of pirate air coming in somewhere. So that tiny bit of hesitation. That's all good. We didn't do that up. That's okay. Well, thank you guys for watching this video of how to change fuel injectors on Nissan R31 Skyline. Non-turbo with an RB30E or a Holden VL Commodore with a RB30E or ET. That seems to be it. I'm going to have to wait till this rain dies down to take it for a run without the bonnet on. But yeah, that's it guys. Thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video. I hope this was useful. Anyway, the injector video, it's going to be quite long, I'm going to assume. There's going to be a lot of bits where I've sped it up. But after everything was all said and done, there was a slight misfire, which really annoyed me because they were brand new injectors. Car's running fine if you haven't already guessed. I got that sorted. And wow, talk about the easy stuff. If you're into cars and do DIY, you know that if something goes wrong, the simplest of things, you overthink, you go crazy, you go like, okay, so it's not going to be this, it's going to be this, but it's not that. It's always the easy stuff, the simple things. So, what happened is, as I said, the car was misfiring. I was idling fine, revving fine, but when I put it into gear, when I drove it, put my foot down, even the slightest, like driving sensibly like I am now, about 1.5 to 2 grand and onwards, it would run on 5 cylinders. It's a 6 cylinder. Running on 5, that's bad. The engine, I was driving without a bonnet on. I don't know what my phone just did then. But I was driving without a... What are you doing? Australian drivers, like... I was driving without a bonnet on so I could see the engine doing its thing. Put my foot down, 1.5 to 2 grand onwards, it would shake like a bitch. I had no idea what it was. I pulled it all apart, put it back together, thinking it had a vacuum leak because I didn't put a hose back on. No, everything was together right. Maybe I thought, oh, maybe the gas is not on properly. That was on. Well, it was already on, but you know what I mean. Everything checked out to be fine. I was mind fucked. I did not know what was going on. So I bit the bullet, went down to my mechanic, and I told him what the go was. He said, okay, let's have a look.
we start doing things, trying to diagnose it and all that sort of stuff. Turns out cylinder 2 was not working, and that was because, here's a simple thing, the spark plug was cracked. I don't have a photo, but he put a new spark plug in for me, because, you know, I'm already down there. And the car didn't misfire. I thrashed the living shit out of it, and it drove perfectly, and is still driving perfectly. You might be able to hear a knock, that's a suspension knock. I don't care. Well, I do, but I don't have the money to care, so let's just say I don't care. So yeah, that's that. Spark plug was cracked. Replace that, and all is good. Yeah, I was just going up this hill then. So, without continuing to ramble, I'm not sure if I'm going to put this at the... What the fuck? Start, you see? Not sure if this is going at the start of the video or the end of the video. You know what? Got it. I'm going to go straight again, because I needed time to talk. I'm going to sit here and do nothing. Because typical Toyota driver doesn't know what he's doing. Oh shit, that's an instant. Whoops.